All right, welcome to Degree 45 Podcast. I'm not your host, but we got three hosts here, Weekly Narrative, Cut Productions, Inc., and that's just my opinion, Danielle, Jeremy, Cut. And we are joined by Danny Farnsworth, who had a video go viral about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, ever since the Florida Parkland shootings that took place and everyone. And all the aftermath of that with the March for Our Lives and everything. But welcome, everyone. And
hi. Hey. Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right, so sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. So post it live, so that's just my opinion also.
And a few of you that are watching, we're just going to go ahead and share this to our pages real quick so we can get everything going here.
It's all about that marketing.
It's all about the marketing.
Big marketing, big money dollars.
We don't really care about each other. We're all in this for the individual
Nobody's making any money off of this. We have sponsors, and you'll see their commercials soon enough, but we are not making any money off of this.
Yeah, we are going to have commercials. It's going to be awesome.
So,
we're going ahead and publishing this. All right, cool. I think I'm good on my end.
I think I'm good on mine.
Okay, cool. All right, again, welcome to Degree 45 Podcast. Now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, I bored you to death. Joined by Danny Farnsworth here out of Arizona, and we got California with Jeremy. I'm from Reno, Nevada, and then we got South Carolina on here right now where it's probably like 12 or 11 o'clock at night.
It's 11, yeah.
So we just like to kind of talk about whatever's kind of going on in current events here, whether it be culture or going on with politics or going on with the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Let's start with that, the White House Correspondents' Dinner that Donald Trump didn't go to and chose not to go to.
Hold on, real quick. Before we do that, I want to have a quick rundown by Mr. Farnsworth himself. I want to get just a quick little brief explanation of that video that you made and what turned you into like this Facebook, why you have so many followers, just so people who don't know can get a quick idea of what you're doing and why you're here.
Honestly, the video came about due to a phone call I was on with somebody, very, very dear friend of mine. She's an extreme liberal, and we were talking about assault rifles. And I asked her outright, well, what do you think an assault rifle is? And her answer is, well, the black, scary-looking ones. And in the moment I got off the phone call, I was pretty lit because I've heard that, people want to take this away and they have no idea what it is, how it works, And so I ran and I grabbed two guns out of the gun safe and I brought them out and I asked a friend of mine, hey, shoot a video real quick for me. And by the next morning...
Off the fly, just off the cuff like that?
Literally. I was off the phone call maybe 5 minutes before I made the video. And I think that's why you can hear the passion. Some people tell me, oh, you sound angry, you're mad, you shouldn't have a gun, you're crazy. But it was because at the moment I was passionate about it. I was in that, well, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about mode. And off we went, A
lot of America was at that point in time.
Right.
So what was it when I have a question because we talked about it before, Danny, when I had you on, and I appreciate you coming on again. And when did you notice it was starting to take off, the video? Like, was it immediately?
No,
actually, it just went viral?
Actually, it kind of went a little slow. I think it was the next night or the next morning I looked at it, and it was at 5,000 views, and I was all excited. I was like, wow, 5,000. Holy cow, I've never had anything.
That's how I feel when I get 5,000, yeah.
Right? And just by that night, it was at like 4 million. And I woke up the next morning, it was at 8 million. And I was like, oh my God. And of course, my inbox on Messenger had filled up completely with people either cussing me or, happy to see what I was saying what I was saying.
Man,
and now I think we're creeping up somewhere close to 14 million. So
are you and your liberal friend still friends that you
absolutely.
Oh, okay. Does he/she know the video was about them or in relation to them in their comment?
You know what? I haven't been asked that from him yet. And so we haven't actually addressed that. However, I'm pretty sure she knows. But we actually haven't discussed the point that she's the one that drove the video to come out. She may now. She may.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. No worries.
Danny in particular.
It's insane how Facebook.
No matter what it is.
It's insane how quickly this stuff spreads on Facebook like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
now, go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just gonna say, you talk about these Russian trolls and stuff. I don't think any of them were as effective as that video that you made. None of these Russian troll videos were getting, or Russian troll Facebook posts were getting 8 million hits on their videos. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I think it has to do with the personability to it. You know what I mean? Just it's obvious I'm not some bot. I'm just a regular dude. This is my page. This isn't even. It's not follow me. This is my regular Facebook page that I put baby pictures of my niece on. I think that part of it struck home. A lot of people just saw it as an original guy having his own thought and expressing it, and they went, wow, this guy's saying what I've been trying to say.
Right.
And that's what did it. Free thinking, really.
Right, and you're telling a lot of people what they don't know as well. Your video informed me on the difference between, I know an assault rifle and then a rifle, but I didn't know that you can attach the magazine to the end of the rifle as well. So you're informing people along with getting to say F you liberals, and that's fine.
Right. It was like I said, it was the heat of the moment. It was one of those things. I was so excited about it. And literally the stock on that gun, the plastic stock that I put on that is a $60 Walmart special. It was like the cheapest piece of crap aftermarket stock out there. I just threw it on there so that it had that feel for my daughter, who at the time was talking about going in the Marines. And I wanted her to familiarize herself with a weapon that felt like that, That's the only reason I even put all that stuff on that gun sometime earlier.
Have you attended any of the March for Our Lives protests at all, Danny?
No, I haven't. There was a school walkout here in the Valley, and I thought strongly about throwing an AR-15 on a strap around my shoulder and making up a sign. But then when I found out that it wasn't really a march, it was a private little thing in each school. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that would be appropriate. Go stand outside of a school with an AR-15.
Probably not. Hey, you'll have another viral video if you did that.
You might not get to watch it from prison, but
What? So with they did have pro Second Amendment rallies, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago that were all over the nation too. Didn't get the traction or the MSM, attention. Yeah. But they did have one out here. I didn't know about it unless I searched for it. I think they had one out in California where Jeremy. I don't know if they had one out by you in South Carolina or in Arizona as well. But yeah, it didn't get the attention that it was getting. Kind of like when you're. And is this whole March for Our Lives thing dead? By the way, like David Hogg and all that stuff. Like you don't even hear about them anymore.
I haven't heard about it in a while. He'll come up in some other crisis. Isn't he like a crisis actor? Isn't that the word?
Hey, we don't peddle conspiracy theories here at Degree 45, okay? So calm down. That's Alex Jones's job.
Yeah, it is. I personally think all that stuff, what happened was it stirred the pot up a little bit, but people who are intelligent and willing to listen, which is, you're rare to find on the other side sometimes. They just want to throw stones and argue and fight. But I think the more people talked about it, the more they realized, wow, they're screwing with our civil liberties. And if they take this one away, they're going to take another one away and another one away. So the left has to strike when the iron's hot. And if the narrative stays open too long on any one topic, people start getting educated and start changing their mind. And they don't want that. They want that real quick, dump information on them, let them regurgitate it out to their buddies, and then shut the fuck up like a good slave should do. And that's pretty much, to me, how the left works. So that's why I think it's quiet.
Well, this is what I saw for speaking of conspiracy theorists, and this is stolen from another site, but I thought it was a good definition for a conspiracy theorist. Was nothing more than a derogatory title used to dismiss a critical thinker.
Absolutely.
And anytime you ask questions, on anything that doesn't fit the narrative or the agenda, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're a whack job, or you're a nut.
Right.
But
what are you listening to in the background cut, by the way?
He warned us about this live.
That is Bananarama by Venus.
I've got a flying.
Oh no! Suddenly I want to
Jesus.
do the walk like an Egyptian thing, you know?
We're trying to be professional here. We're trying to have a show. This guy's playing.
I'll turn it down.
Playing big butts, you know, in the
Right?
background.
You may as well. You know what? We know what I thought is funny about the whole gun thing, and then incidents that happened after that, like the van attack in Toronto, and then the school shooting in Maryland. You don't hear about the attacks that don't fit the narrative. You know, like these attacks do happen. The bombings in Austin, you heard about those for 2 days or wherever it was in Texas. You heard about those bombings while they were happening, and then like for a day after, because it didn't fit the narrative of guns, this, but he still killed a bunch of people. The van killed a bunch of people. The shooter in Maryland got stopped by not a corrections officer, but an officer on campus. And none of these fit their narrative, so they pick these ones out that they like, that they can use to propel their narrative, and then they go with that. So I think the fact that they don't cover these other stories is a really easy tell to exactly what their motivation and their goal is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Classic propaganda, really. And I wish if there was anything I could get out to the generation that's out there today, is that propaganda has always existed. It started with, the New York Times way back when, and probably long before that, but in mass scale. And I wish I could get that into the minds of young people, that if the media's feeding you this, if the internet's feeding you this, it's got to be, something's wrong with it if that's the whole tell. Unless you trust that everything's flower and roses, and if you do, then
Right.
Fine, go. But, it's Orwell's 1984, and the fact that people are falling for it, I just wonder when they're going to realize, if they're going to realize, that it's all propaganda. It's scary, really.
We kind of we hit on this a little bit last week with the Waffle House incident that was really underreported, where there was a black male who took out a white naked male.
Yeah, that whole story is just nuts.
I got to throw that in there. Half naked male, bottom part out, and goes into this Waffle House shooting, and he kills 4 people, but, this black man tackles him and ends up pushing him out, throwing the assault rifle over the counter, pushing him out of the Waffle House. And then there's, he, from what I've heard, doesn't want the credit, but they act like this story just didn't happen. It just fades away into nothingness. And I mean, how heroic, even if he doesn't want to accept it. And beyond that, even if we don't want to acknowledge the person, let's acknowledge what happened. Let's that was huge, and I mean, very underreported compared to things that, like you say, Jeremy, fit the agenda.
Right. Well, there were no kids shot, so they couldn't use it for anything,
Right, no school shootings, just Waffle House shootings.
America is so numb that you need kids being shot to take any action anymore.
Any new news on that shooting in Sacramento? The cops shooting Stephon Clark, I think his name was, or is that just a wash?
His brother is in jail, and the cops are back on duty.
In jail. Okay.
And they're really mad about that.
It's hard to keep up with all this
Sean
stuff.
King was in town today. Sean King came to Sacramento. The white guy who pretends to be black and race baits everyone with stories of black victimhood. He was in town today. I almost went, but I probably would have got shot. But
I don't know.
They're still propelling that narrative of, cops are anti-black and this and that. But
I haven't gotten to get my coffee yet by pretending to be black. Is that still up for grabs, or is that deal out the window yet?
Well, we just had. I just got a message. What does carpet bomb mean? Who knows that? Anybody know what carpet bomb means?
What's the context?
I'm going to carpet bomb the net with your video.
Oh, it means he's going to share the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool.
Will you carpet bomb
Thank you.
hell out of this video?
All right. I never heard that term before, so I'm going to thank you right for that. So back to the dinner. Let's talk about the dinner. Yeah. We're going to go from guns to dinner.
We had to start with
White House Correspondents' dinner. I didn't watch it. I saw clips of it. Michelle Wolf has gotten a lot of attention, whoever the hell that is.
I've never heard of her before in my
making
life.
fun of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So I don't know if you guys caught any of it, but I just didn't think it was funny. I just thought it was just attacks. I just thought it was like watching Stephen Colbert or Stephen Colbert every night. It's just the same shit over and over again. Did you guys catch any of it? Because it is not a topic I'm going to be able to really discuss too much.
I happened to watch this morning. I didn't watch any of the dinner or anything, but I watched the comedy act that was obviously posted all over the internet following the dinner. And it was just, like you said, it wasn't even funny. It was just cruel. It was atrocious. This woman who claims that she stands, by other women, she's sitting there attacking Trump, saying the P word over and over. And we all know what the P word is. Trump said it on the bus. We all know it because she said it about interact.
Anything.
Politician.
They're attacking another woman's appearance. She's a female who's standing on this podium in front of a group of, congressmen and women. These are people who are. You don't expect somebody to come up and act like an idiot and act so inappropriate, and for Sarah Sanders to sit there and take it after. And not get up and leave. People that looks amazing to her and just makes this wolf girl look ridiculous for saying, I stand by women. Oh, Sarah Sanders, you look like, I don't even know who the hell that person was, but they were not cute. And they just not, that's just so
They're making fun of what Sarah Sanders looks like?
Yeah.
Oh
there's
my
some
God.
movie.
So the people who love to talk about how you shouldn't objectify women and you shouldn't judge people based on appearances did exactly that during the talk.
Yep.
Sounds like she was just trying to be like Amy Schumer with all those P-word jokes, as you put it.
P-word. I'm not going to be the one to say it, but y'all know. She was ridiculous. She was. It was just for somebody who's. As a woman, I was disgusted, almost being like, you're representing, and you're standing there outright saying, I represent women. No.
Yeah. I'm sure women were happy to be represented by that.
No. And
well, just as happy as the women's marchers. Watching the women's march,
they're so happy.
There were apparently some people who walked out during her performance. Some intelligent people walking out during the performance, and she, makes a little snide remark into the microphone about how they should have done more research before hiring her, and then keeps on with the P word. And I was like, lady, calm down.
Yeah, well, Kellyanne Conway she was upset about it too, apparently. I didn't read about it, because honestly, I didn't care about the dinner. I think it's stupid. I think the whole idea of that dinner is retarded. I'm going to use the R word there. I'm dropping a hard R, retarded. Yeah, it's, and I can see why Trump doesn't want to go. They're going to make fun of him. How original can you be? What can you say that hasn't already been said? You're going to make fun of Trump. You're going to make fun of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Who cares?
Well, the other thing is, too, that I thought was funny, I did watch him in Washington, Michigan, for his little rally, a huge rally. It was huge. It was a huge rally, and it was what was great about it was they were chanting Nobel for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh yeah.
Over and over again, you're hearing it, and you know what? There's so much. What's funny about that whole thing is I don't know why the hell Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize, because I think he got it before Osama bin Laden was killed. So really, he really just got it because he was the first half-black president to be elected. I'm assuming that's why he got it. I don't understand why else he got it. I didn't see any progress. I saw a lot of progressiveness, but not enough progress. It means nothing, and I don't know who the people are that do the Nobel Peace Prize, but they're saying they're more of a left-leaning, I guess. Kind of like the Academy Awards or anything like that. But I don't know how that's picked or how that's determined. But they are saying that Kim Jong-un might be in the running, too, for the Nobel Peace Prize. Because of isn't that crazy? You're going to have Trump and Kim Jong-un as a candidate for this, or it's just crazy. Mm-hmm. And that whole thing's nuts, too, as well. And the thing I saw was in the same week, Trump, what was that meme? It was so funny. It goes, the racist, warmonger, homophobe in 1 week has Kanye West support, hired the first gay ambassador into Germany, and ended the war in Korea. So I thought that was
sounds like a racist homophobe to me.
Sounds like a racist warmonger homophobe to me. Yeah.
Well, they're desperate to not attribute any kind of credit to Trump for the Korean situation, and even the Moon from South Korea says that this is largely due in part to what Trump has done. He said that himself, so you can't really, you can't try to play this off as Trump trying to take credit for something he didn't do. His strategy, whatever it was, worked. And he was saying this back in, I think it was 1999. If you watch video interviews of him talking about Korea and exactly how he would have handled that situation, this is exactly what he did. It's the same thing. Almost 20 years later, he did exactly what he said he would do. He was going to negotiate, talk to him, and essentially disarm him. And now North Korea says, I think just yesterday or the day before, they said, we'll give up our nukes if the U.S. promises not to invade us.
I mean, like I said last week, the meeting was going to be something that, President Trump, whether you like to admit it or not, he's good at coming in and making improvements, and let's let him do his thing. And, well, he did his thing.
Has anybody read his book, Art of the Deal?
No. No.
That's all
I was young when it came out.
What's reading? I haven't read anything.
what is in book? No, that's all he talks about in the book.
Exams, so.
That's all he talks about in the book is making deals with these people. And I don't know how, the Twitter battles, calling him the dude with the red button. Whatever he did, it worked. I don't know exactly what it was.
I think a lot of what he did was actually put more pressure on North Korea's supporters. He put pressure on China. He was there just a couple of weeks ago telling them, you keep doing this, we're going to start sanctioning you. We're going to start, pushing financial problems your way. And like anything else, money is what pushes most of it. And, that's where the guy's good at. He knows money real well, obviously.
Right.
And he starts threatening their money, their income, their flow of cash. I think that's why North Korea finally folded. I think the whole idea of him putting pressure on China and Russia, their biggest allies, saying, all right, if you keep messing with them, if you keep messing with North Korea, we're going to hurt your guys' economy. Give it a shot. And lo and behold, boom, North Korea's shaking hands, stepping across a little concrete barrier and planting trees, So,
right. So that's true. Yeah, they did plant a tree together.
They did. Did you see the film of them, throwing dirt from each other's country on the tree?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty.
You can tell that man has never done a hard day's work because he went to throw the shovel and the dirt goes everywhere. Yeah. To me, growing up as a quasi farm boy, I'm like, oh, that's depressing. You can't even throw a shovel full of dirt, little rocket boy.
Rocket boy. Well, the whole thing they did for that, they were walking around all over the place. They had bands playing. They were walking on red carpet everywhere, shaking hands here, take a picture here. He was out of breath just from walking around so much. You could tell. You know what I mean? But regardless of whether you agree that Trump had a hand in that or not, seeing that live and watching that happen, I was watching that live on Facebook. It's stupid, but it's still historic, the fact that we're seeing that happen. The president of South Korea stepped into North Korea, and the guy from North Korea, Kim Jong-un, came down to South Korea. They shook hands. They threw dirt on the tree. They signed papers together. They talked about peace treaties, and that's the most progress that we've seen in decades in Korea. So,
since 1953, I believe, is when the DMZ was put up. It was 1953. So, my God, that's before both my parents were born.
Yeah.
This has been going on for a minute, and every president has had a chance to do this. I actually have another liberal friend who actually got pretty pissed off. She's like,
two of them?
Now Trump is going to, I got a few of them. But she was all pissed off that Trump's going to get the credit for this. Literally, it's like, but now Trump's going to get the credit for North Korea and South Korea. Shit. I'm like, why does that upset you? I don't get it. I didn't get all pissed off when they gave the credit for Osama bin Laden to, Obama. I was like, hot damn, they got the guy. Here we go. And hey, he pulled the trigger. God bless him for getting it done.
I could talk about that topic Ben Shapiro writes about how, even after the mission, they completely just, I don't know if it was Joe Biden or Obama's speech who actually, they're congratulating the SEALs for the mission, and then their aircraft was shot down by Al Qaeda within like 2 weeks, I believe. Yeah. I read the book a couple of semesters ago. I can't remember it entirely, but yeah. So even though the credit was given, whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the conspiracy side of that too. How is it that all of them, except for the one guy that pulled the trigger, who now does the talk show circuit, the rest of that whole team is gone. They're dead, right. And we're dead in under a month. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's just a coincidence, according to Obama and his administration.
That whole thing's bizarre to me, because remember when Saddam Hussein, when they found him in that little hole? So they found Saddam, you saw videos of him, pictures of him, trials of him, and then they even showed, some guy had a public execution video of Saddam Hussein, so you saw kind of everything. You didn't see one thing about bin Laden when that thing happened.
Not one.
They say because of, and I don't know if it was religious reasons or something, but they said they washed his body out to sea and stuff, and there was no pictures, anything like that. To me, as an American citizen, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but because of what he did, who gives a shit what this guy's background is or his religious thing is or anything like that? He orchestrated the greatest attack on American soil ever in the history of the United States. So I don't know. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but I'm not saying he's not dead or isn't dead, but I don't know. 6'5" guy on a dialysis machine. We couldn't find him for fucking 12 years.
Yeah,
running around from cave to cave.
He very well could have died of natural causes, and we were just waiting for it so we could prop up this deal. I know they supposedly gave him a proper Muslim, anointing and all the things that are supposed to be done to a Muslim after they pass. I did hear one person that was talking about the way they dispose of the body, and I was pretty twisted about it. Like you said, why didn't we get to see him? What happened? They just dumped him out at sea and that's it? And I heard I don't know, he was maybe a retired general or something. He was from the military. And he said the reason that they didn't return the body or bury the body is they didn't want to give these people who worshiped the guy any place to go and pray to their martyr. He's in the ocean. He's not buried over here. He ain't over there next to Jim Morrison. He's not, there's no place for you to go and worship this dead guy. He's in the ocean. Good luck with you. Fuck off. Was kind of the way
Right.
They just dumped him in the water. And so for that, I kind of got a kick out of that. I was like, well, all right, if that's the case, cool. They just dump him in the water and be done with him. Now there's no place for all these people to go sit and pray over the top of him and light candles, So.
Well, yeah, because as soon as he dies, like you said, it just makes him a martyr. It's going to help their cause. It's going to inspire them to become like him, and it's not.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny. It just didn't make sense to me. So I remember mad cow disease. You could find the one fucking cow and get rid of mad cow disease that was going on when that thing was going to go on, in the Ebola virus and everything. All this stuff we were able to stop, but we couldn't find the guy. Again, I'm going to hit it again. 6'5" dialysis machine going cave to cave in the sand or the mountains of Afghanistan. That just kind of blows my mind. But I don't even know why we went after Afghanistan either. If it was supposed to be Saudis that were on the planes too, that's a whole nother thing now. So
poppy fields, maybe.
Yeah, opium. Yeah, so
maybe
we can control the Buddhist religion.
Here comes the crackdown on opioids. They're talking about it now, the crackdown on all the opioids. We've got control of Afghanistan. What comes out of Afghanistan is heroin. So once the pharmaceutical opioids are off the streets, what are the guys left with who are already hooked, But that'll take me all over to the Freeway Rick Ross conspiracy side. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's
so
a
many
neat one to check out.
conspiracies within this video chat. I like it.
When you said Rick Ross, I thought Rick James. I was about to say.
I'm Rick James, bitch. Oh, shit.
Why don't we talk about the most important, critical story of the entire month? I'm going to go so far as to say month and say
Stormy Daniels.
Kanye West's tweet.
Wow, Kanye beat Stormy.
That is the most important news of the month, according to all these news stations, according to everyone on Twitter, everyone on social media. Kanye West saying that these 7 words that he likes the way that this conservative black woman thinks blew up the entire planet and shattered skulls across the earth. Have you guys are aware of this tweet that I'm talking about? I presume.
Absolutely.
Well, weren't you at the thing with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and all them?
I was at the Turning Point USA event at Berkeley. Yeah, and there's a video of that up on my YouTube channel.
That's what he's referring to, though, right?
This is the one that she did right after the event after this one that I went to. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't the one that I went to, because if it was, the video that I have would probably have 10 million views.
You would have went viral.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been me with that clip that CNN's showing. But yeah, no. The point is, so to give anyone who hasn't seen it just a brief explanation, Candace Owens works for an organization called Turning Point USA, who does conservative talks at college campuses, and she goes around with Charlie Kirk. They do talks, they take questions, they talk to the audience. There was this one altercation at an event, I think it was in Utah. She basically said, in a nutshell, I don't understand why black people like or enjoy being victimized. They were never, no black person today was alive during slavery, and you don't know what it's like to be actually oppressed. And you put more emotion into your fake oppression than your ancestors ever did being actually oppressed. So that's kind of in a nutshell what she said. And I think that's what prompted Kanye to tweet, I like the way Candace Owens thinks. And then he actually posted a picture of himself with like a Make America Great Again hat on after that. He did this sign, which is, like apparently it's some kind of white supremacist thing. It used to be anyway. This used to be white supremacist, by the way, if he did this, the OK sign. So he posted a picture of himself doing that and a bunch of other pro-Trump stuff on Twitter. Like we're like Dragon Blood, or what was that? Dragon Energy? We
Dragon
both have
Juice.
Dragon Energy or something like that.
Dragon Juice.
Yeah, and so
it's like Charlie Sheen's Tiger Blood.
I'm still so blown away at this because being a female, I keep up with the Kardashians, even though I would say I'm an intelligent female. I still keep up with the Kardashians, and even
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Kendall Jenner was just talking about gun control and. Wait, what'd you say, Cut?
Nothing. I didn't know there was such a thing. No, I was just messing with you. Go.
Why am I the butt of every joke? No. So Kendall or whoever posted about gun control within the week. So, Jeremy, you're actually the one who informed me of this first, the Kanye situation. I'm absolutely blown away, especially it being Kanye West, and not even in relation to the Kardashians, just it being Kanye West. Coming out basically saying I support Donald Trump, and that's not only a risky move in his position, but it's it's bold, and that's Kanye, but that's different. That's a different kind of bold. I like it.
I think being part of the R&B or rap culture, whatever it is, I don't listen to Kanye, so.
What's crazy is that Chance the Rapper guy came out. I don't follow. I'm not into rap or hip hop. I'm into Venus, Bananarama, but it's so this Chance the Rapper guy came out to support and say, it's. What did he say? He says not all black people have to be Democrats or something like that.
That's it.
And he apologized for that comment. Saying, he was just protecting his friend Kanye, and he had to apologize for saying that because he got so much heat for it. And I just think that just kind of goes to show you the power of the mainstream media and the brain, the lack of thought and thought control that kind of goes on with these guys. It's
why he apologized though, right?
Because he probably lost some money.
No, because all of his buddies. Now Kanye posted a picture of John Legend texting him saying, "Hey man, you gotta be careful. You have all this power. You shouldn't be saying this kind of stuff." Same thing happened to Chance. You know what I mean? Like all the people in the industry collapsed on him. All of his contacts, everyone he knew, his agent probably too, was like, "Dude, what are you doing? What the?" So everyone was telling him to do it. You got to stop this. You want to get this record deal, or you want to get this concert over here, whatever it was. Money, like you're saying, but yeah, it's also social influence. If you want to remain in this circle of the elite, like entertainers, you have to follow their ideological monolith. You have to be on their side, and you have to perpetuate their ideas too. So if you go outside of that, then immediately you're corrected. And that's Chance. He tried to step off the plantation, but they just whipped him back, and they got him right back on the plantation.
Yeah, that was Yeah, go ahead.
Apologies just aren't enough anyways. I mean, I'm going to take this back to the dinner we were talking about. She made it, the Wolf lady, Michelle Wolf, made a comment about the Starbucks classes that they were going to take, how we were making fun of those classes, saying how they are going to do more harm than good, and she's like acting like they're not enough. And, oh, this isn't good. Yeah, that's what we need, is just a day. It's like, you don't need it at all, because it's going to cause more hostility between different races. It's going to cause hostility between the employers and their customers in general, because like, what can I say to them? We discussed this last week. What's the appropriate response to a person when they say this? Am I allowed to let this person sit here and not purchase anything? It's like all these different rules, and still yet it's not enough. And that's not even a race issue. That's just this woman coming out saying, we're talking about apologies. Starbucks comes out trying to not only apologize for the incident, but make amends, do something to correct it, and it's not enough. There's not enough.
Nothing will ever be enough. Nothing will ever be enough, because that whole side is the side of just whiny, complainy, fix it for me, handle it for me. Why can't somebody else do this for me? And eventually we could do everything for them. They could hand them everything, change their bedpan and feed them food through a tube, and they would bitch about the size of the tube that's in their mouth. It would just, you cannot make these people happy. It is that negative push. That is what their life is bitching about whatever they can find. Because quite honestly, if the best thing they've got to show is a couple of guys that got thrown out or arrested at a Starbucks because they didn't spend any money, they were told not to use the bathroom and asked to leave. If that's the biggest piece of racism in America today, holy shit, we're doing good. We are kicking ass on race right now.
I said this on the last show. That's happened to me. I've been told I can't use the restroom at various places if I don't order something. You can't sit here if you're not ordering something. That's a common response at a public place. I know Cut and Jeremy all discussed this with me last time about how Starbucks, they want the loitering, but do they really? I mean, do they want the loitering based off of this incident, or are they just entirely racist and they do want the loitering, just not from African Americans?
I just think what really happened is a big place that's known for being a big liberal corporate establishment, Starbucks, ended up in a situation where two black men got arrested for whatever the reason it was, whether it was wrong or right, doesn't matter. It's Starbucks. It's a very liberal. If you've ever been there, you just feel the liberalism as you're in there, and
an aura.
And yeah, so it made national news, and they needed to do something about it. So they're going to close down their stores and do a sensitivity training on how you should be treating people of other races. They're going to close down, I think, 8,000 stores. So yeah, I think that whole thing is just.
Did they do that already?
It's coming up.
Oh.
It's a case of cultural appropriation. Starbucks clearly belongs to little white girls, and if you're in there drinking a Starbucks, you are culturally appropriating something that is not yours. It's no different than Eminem singing rap, or sorry, but that clearly belongs to little white girls with Uggs on. Are you wearing Uggs?
We know.
That's one of those things. And pardon me for twisting off on the whole race side for a minute, but I truly believe that they're, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them. But, you pit a country against itself, and they find anything they can that we're not going to agree on, whether it be guns, whether it be abortion, whether it be race, and they just fuel the fire. Like any other country, we fund the rebels, let them beat the shit out of their government, and then we come in and say, oh, it's unstable, we got to fix them. Mm-hmm. It's happened in so many countries. The problem is it's happening in our country right now, and that's the scary part. They're pitting us against each other on a number of issues that are so small compared to the big issues that are really out there. But we keep biting the hook, so...
Well, that's why we're here doing Degree 45, because the media is the one who are pushing the narratives and the ideas that keep your brain kind of enslaved, like in this prison of, who us versus them? Who am I supposed to be against this week? What is the issue that I'm supposed to be mad about this week? Oh, is it abortion? Is it black people? Is it shootings? Is it guns? Whatever. School shootings, it's the media are the ones who keep us entrenched in this prison of thought where we are controlled and kind of looking at the whole world through this spectacle of us versus them, regardless of what it is, no matter what the issue is. Anything from Kanye to people in Starbucks getting kicked out. These stupid menial issues, like you say, they're stupid. They're retarded. They're nothing. They're nothing. But we're pushing it like something.
To touch on that, yeah, you're absolutely right with the whole media, because if you go on, I noticed I just got Sling TV for my for my, I don't know what the hell it is, but I was just looking at it to just learn about what Sling TV is, and all of a sudden I'm getting ads about Sling TV and how to do this and how to do that and what you should get, what package you should get, and all I did was look it up. So anything you do on the internet or anything like that, all of a sudden these ads come at you, and if you're somewhat conservative, like they said for the Zuckerberg thing, I guess they label your account very conservative if you're not liberal at all, for your Facebook account, and it's something that they kind of control on their end. And then the ads that are pushed towards you for certain types of reasons or whatever the whole algorithm thing is that I have no clue how to explain. But it just ends up showing certain ads, certain stories to keep us on a certain side of the fence. Or
I get a lot of dog ads. I get a lot of dog ads, things to buy my dog. Does that mean I'm looking up dog things too often?
You're probably, if you put a picture up of your dog, you're probably going to get some dog ads. It's crazy, like just little things like that.
Well, if you've ever tried to make an ad,
dogs and politics.
If you've ever tried to make an ad on Facebook, and I've done a lot of Facebook advertising. I actually used to be an affiliate marketing guy for Facebook. You can narrow down to specific likes, ages. I can target someone who's 18 years old only, who is likely to engage in political activity. They have that. Facebook knows if you're likely to engage in political activity, meaning like you'll go to rallies, you'll go to protests, you'll hold a sign out in the street, stuff like that. They know exactly where you lean politically. They know everyone that you like. All this different stuff. It's not scary. It's kind of you should expect them to know this much because you give them this much information. Most people just kind of put this out there like, oh yeah, I like Hillary Clinton. They click like, and then they don't understand that that's going into a database to collect a higher picture of their actual behavior and who they are as a person. So it's kind of scary, but at the same time, it's not, because we should know that they're collecting all this information on us.
It makes me want to start like a super liberal fake Facebook. It makes me, where I search like rallies, make myself, I don't know, a transgendered 19-year-old female.
That'll be a hit.
I see comments on Facebook where they're like, the liberals are all, these are the, I don't even know how to say this.
We're supposed to be down the middle here at Degree 45.
But the liberal comment said something along, Cut, I didn't hear you again.
Nothing, go ahead. I just said we're supposed to be down the middle, and we're just trashing liberals here.
Yeah, clearly down the middle.
Okay,
so
sorry,
hard. Go ahead.
She commented, I'm assuming, because she said conservative. She was on Facebook commenting this about how conservatives need to get their own, media platform. Facebook belonged to them, and it's like, what?
Yeah, Diamond and Silk just went and testified before Congress, wasn't it?
That was
right?
awesome.
Yeah, Diamond and Silk making things happen.
That was great. She was tearing them up too. They were tearing them up too. It was just.
I would not want to get in an argument with Diamond and Silk or Ben Shapiro. People I would not want to get. I think Diamond and Silk and Ben Shapiro should have a debate. And I know you like Ben Shapiro.
Do you want to get overrun by facts, or do you want to get overrun by sass?
Oh,
it's one of the two.
Yeah, he's a little sassy sometimes too, though, with the facts. He'll hand it to him.
He's a little.
He doesn't lose.
No, you have to pay real close attention to him. He talks so fast, and he throws all his facts and his numbers and everything out there so quick. You have to stop and wonder, are 87.5% of all statistics made up on the spot, or,
I turn this into a transgender thing, but he's actually, it's not even like that he throws all numbers out. He throws out actual, things for people to process and, relate. He's at colleges speaking, and I've watched a video where he's at a college speaking to this young woman about, transgenderism, and the woman saying, why can't I identify as a man, or why can't a man identify as a woman? et cetera, et cetera. Who are you to say any different? And he looks at her and he's like, well, why aren't you 60?
Yeah, I saw that.
She's my age or something. And she's like, just totally, she's like confused by the questions, not like comprehending what's trying to put across yet. And she's like, because I wasn't born then. And he's like, right, you were not born then, so you are not 60. You are not born a man, so therefore you are not a man. And this is just Ben Shapiro. This isn't me arguing it, but I love Ben Shapiro, so I'm going to get excited about anything when I talk about Ben Shapiro. But it was really a funny video.
Ben Shapiro. I just kept saying Ben Shapiro.
What about Joy Reid getting caught for her homophobic post on the internet? You guys see that?
No one's talking about it. I haven't heard about it, of course, because it's Joy Reid doing it. Or do you mean Joy Behar or Joy Reid?
No, Joy Reid from MSNBC, is it? Or CNN? She made some homophobic posts on the internet like 10 years ago or something like that. So people found it, they dug them up, and first she claimed that, well, they do this to conservatives all the time, you know? I mean, we're still, it's mainstream news that 10 years ago Trump had an affair or whatever with this porn star. So clearly we're interested in stuff that happened a decade ago. But Joy Reid posted some homophobic tweets, or not tweets, it was a post online, you know, and they dug it up. She first came out and said that she apologized, and then she came out and said that she was hacked, and that was fake. That somebody else wrote that. So now we're seeing an example.
A little backwards.
Yeah, they're getting a little taste of their own medicine here. And she's kind of caught in a lie, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I think she'll come out unscathed because she's part of the side that really cares. You know, the side, the conservatives, I don't think they really care that much about something that someone said 10 years ago. But you know, the fact that she's on the left kind of gives her immunity to that kind of stuff. If it was Trump, obviously, we still care about that because it's against a right-leaning person, and you know. The fact that he had an affair with the porn star 10 years ago is big news, big deal. But Joy Reid being a homophobe, you know, that's not a big deal because she's on the left. She's progressive.
It's huge. It's a huge deal.
She realized that saying sorry wasn't enough, so she took her words back and then was like, it wasn't me. Because she realized she was on the opposite side, the receiving end. She realized apologizing's not enough when it comes to this kind of thing.
That term homophobia, I think that's such an Islamophobia. I think that's just bullshit. That's another thing that shows the power of the media. That's such a bullshit term. Have you ever seen a gay guy walk down the street? Do you scream and pass out in fright that you see a gay guy out there? No. But somebody who has arachnophobia, if they see a spider, they will freak the fuck out. They will pass out. Or what's the one when you're stuck in a closed area?
Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia, yeah. Those people will freak out. Homophobia and Islamophobia. If I see a gay Muslim guy, you know, I'm not gonna.
You're running for the hills.
Because I'm a conservative. I might think, you know, after 9/11, if I'm sitting next to the guy, I might think, you know, this isn't cool according to the news. This guy, and then the gay thing. It just blows my mind. Those terms.
Yeah.
Homophobia and Islamophobia is such bullshit terms. They came up in mainstream media.
Yeah, it started with homophobia. It started like 10 years ago, roughly 10 years ago. And I noticed this when it started happening. And I was young. I was like 18 or something when this happened. And I noticed it because like homophobia, wait a second, phobia. Isn't that like a clinical term for someone who has like an irrational fear of something? Why are we using that to describe my a hatred of like gay people? And I agree. I think using the word homophobia, calling Joy Reid a homophobe for saying these things is stupid. But this is why it's so ironic, because she's part of the side that hijacked that term and is now using that as a language weapon against political enemies to show, you know, this person's a bigot, this person is full of hate, this person hates gay people. Phobia is not a hatred of anything. They hijack that word, and they're using that term phobia, which you have to be clinically diagnosed to have a phobia in the first place. But now they're throwing it around like cookies, like everyone's phobia of this, Islam, gay, like you're saying. And that's a perfect example of how they're taking the language, controlling the language, and using language as a weapon.
If it truly is a phobia and it truly is a mental disorder, isn't it? Shouldn't they just accept it? It's a mental disorder, right?
Wow, I've never thought of it that way.
It should be, I mean, come on, what are we going to do? Pick on the fat kid next?
I know, right?
Wow, that's a really good point.
There's definitely a lot of Trumpophobia going on. A lot of Trumpophobia going on throughout the days. Holy shit.
By all rights, there probably should be. If they really want that way of life that they're pushing for, that if it ever is achieved, they will no longer be allowed to push, which is the part that gets me. If this type of America that they're shoving and pushing and trying to get us to move forward, if it actually happens, they will no longer be able to push, shove, and move in any direction they want to.
Right.
So, yeah, the Trumpophobia, I actually think is a good thing because it keeps a lot of people awake. It causes us to question, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? It just causes us to fall back in. And so far, he just seems to be doing a great job, one step at a time. I'm surprised how good he's doing, quite honestly. I didn't think he was going to. And I'm on the right side, but I'm actually surprised. I think he's kicking ass. I'm liking the guy more and more every day.
I think there is that whole silent majority thing is a real thing, because if it wasn't, your video, Danny, wouldn't have went where it went. It wouldn't have done what it did, and Trump wouldn't be president. And that video that came out a week or two ago, I don't know if you guys saw it, about this vegan protesters outside of this restaurant in Canada. I think it was in Ontario or something. And the guy has a deer leg, and he brings it out in front of the protesters in the window and starts cutting up this deer. And they are freaking the fuck out. And the cops come in, and then they're kind of laughing about it a little bit. And then the cops leave and let the guy go on about his business, because it's his business, it's his right.
He's not breaking any laws.
Even believe it or not. Yeah, he wasn't breaking any laws. He was just he's a butcher, I guess, or a chef too as well. And that video went viral, and people were laughing and loved it. And of course, he got some hate, of course, just like you did, Danny. But for the most part, the reason why it went viral is because people were like, they're just tired of that PC leftist fucking bullshit. So but it is fun to watch. I mean, if the lefts weren't doing what they were doing, we wouldn't be here talking right now. And they're kind of making us, they're kind of harmonizing us and making us a lot more they're making the conservatives not conservatives.
Here's the thing. We say we're down the middle. We say we're down the middle, and that's true. But what's commonly accepted today as left, like political ideology, is extreme left political ideology, because unlike the right, the conservatives, they disavow the alt-right. They say that over there, that's not us. That's not what we represent. The left, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the Barack Obamas, they look at Antifa and these people calling for socialism and communism. They look at that and they say, oh, okay, well, maybe that's part of us too, because they don't separate that. They don't put that in a box and say, okay, you guys go over here, you do your little thing. That's not us. That's not the left. That's not what we are. They have never, ever disavowed Antifa. They've never disavowed socialism, communism, Bernie Sanders. I mean, look at what he wants to push. They've never disavowed any of this stuff. So the extreme points, what we do here most of the time is we look at this really irrational, really illogical ideas, and it just so happens that a lot of that right now is coming from the left, because the left is perceived as being these extreme ideas. They don't separate themselves from these extreme ideas. So what can we do? We know they want these ideas. We have to look at them and criticize them. We'll criticize any ideas, but the vast amount of illogical, irrational ideas right now in 2018 are coming from the left. So
right. And we get looked at like we're on that far side, and I don't know who said it first, but I support the right of two gay men to protect their marijuana field with an AR-15. There's no problem with that. This is America, and if that's what they want to do. But, I'm still labeled that right side. But if you go to the extreme right, if I say I support these two gay men, whoa, that's not right-leaning. They should be able to protect their marijuana field. Oh, I throw the AR-15 on there, and they're like, all right, goddamn right, I'm the guns. But we're kind of pushed over there, I think, and labeled the far right if we don't automatically agree to accept all of these hardcore values and then hate the old white guy at the same time. Right. That's kind of part of it. And if you're not, you're just kind of shoved aside. But that's kind of why I think that the mainstream media is losing a lot of the head. Like, David Hogues, he's gone. He's done. His 15 minutes is over. I think they're pushing a lot of their own people away because when you stand back and look at how one-sided it really is, anybody with any kind of intelligence, if they just step out of the box for a minute and look at all the crap they're getting fed, they can see that it's all just more hatred, more socialistic ideas. And I think America's smart enough now and starting to wake up that is not what we want. The left may bring some of that stuff out, but they're bringing so much other luggage with it. And I think it's waking up a lot of people, or at least I'm hoping it is.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of like what you said with the whole the gay guy with the AR-15 protecting his marijuana plants. There's a guy on Facebook, Joey Fahey, is a gay Trump supporter, right? And this was a post that he got a shitload of shares and likes and everything like that. He goes, "I'm truly disgusted and appalled by the actions of the lesbians in Oregon for destroying two people's lives over the baking of a cake, and by Pence's neighbors in Colorado for draping a Make America Gay Again banner outside their vacation home. I've concluded why so many straight people think that gay people are ramming their sexuality down heterosexual throats," no pun intended, and quite simply, it's because of these obsessive behaviors to get notice. For a group that consistently preaches that they want more inclusion and chants slogans such as "United, not divided," by such ludicrous antics, you are achieving exactly the opposite. This is just one of the many reasons why I nor my friends do not associate with the LGBTQIAPP, whatever the fuck you use. With that being said, hope you have a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. And that was obviously a while ago, but it's true. I mean, it does. It kind of, we don't really care. Whatever you want to do. It is America, like you said, Danny. I don't really give a shit what you want to do, as long as just don't force it on me. Don't push it on me, because I got my own shit I got to do,
Yeah, I believe it's "Don't tread on me."
Yeah, we can go.
Right? So,
as far as
do your thing.
The pushing the gay gay rights on people or
Agenda.
whatever, I never personally thought that I've had it pushed in my face, and I've heard a lot of people say that, they push in their face and that bothers them so much. I've never really been bothered by it. I'm very pro-gay rights, but you live out in the West Coast. I live Southeast Coast. So, maybe our experiences are different, but I've never had any problems with the gay community shoving their beliefs down my throat in a non-punny way.
Yeah, well, it's for me, with their little parades and stuff like that, I think that's a little shoving it down our throats in a sense. They close down the streets. If I go out there and have a heterosexual parade, I'm going to get called, here it comes, a homophobe, a hateful alt-right guy, all this other
Nazi
crazy stuff.
Fascist.
Yeah, Nazi fascist, and they're saying, well, it's different because, heterosexual. Then they'll say it's normal to be heterosexual. It's not normal. So these people have been fighting for their rights forever and everything. And I get that. I'm fine with that. But don't also say it's because it's not normal or anything like that, because then you just sound. Then you sound like the homophobe in a sense, saying it's not normal. Well, that's what I'm saying. So
right, and it's maybe them going about it in a wrong way. I know that I am in college, obviously, and in one of my constitutional law classes, they updated the book for the 2015 case where the Supreme Court decided gay marriage is constitutionally legalized and throughout the entire nation. And we're, I guess, still having these rallies, and I don't think that I really don't see the oppression, but whatever. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of the town or something. Whatever.
I was just thinking that
Speaking
myself.
of gay people, California, they're trying to ban the Bible. Is that true?
I heard that.
Aren't they segregating too? Or seceding, sorry. Seceding.
They're trying
Wrong
to
answer.
Some people, some of them are trying.
Please go. Please go. Just go. We can take 56 electoral votes right back.
I look at the maps of where they want to draw the new borders, and I'm on the good side, so I'm like, all right.
I was about to say Jeremy State.
I hope I am. I'm in Arizona.
I think I'm
sure
still in the United States if we secede. So.
Oh, what about? Have you guys seen this caravan thing? This caravan of illegals coming in here for was it California or something? It was big news today.
It's all
Yeah, they finally made it here. The people coming up from
They're at the
Honduras
wall.
and all of that is, it started off. I've heard numbers from, the first time I heard it, there was 15,000 people coming up, and then I heard it dropped all the way down to a couple hundred people. And here's my deal: if they've left Honduras, right, and they're coming to America for political asylum to get away from politics or gang members or whatever it is they're saying, well, they're in a different country now. Seek asylum where you're at. You're in Mexico at our border. Seek asylum there. You're there. Have a good time, man. And so why do they have to, in order to get this asylum?
Not good enough.
Right. Why do they have to come into America to get the asylum? Why is nobody pointing at this either? They're in a different country. They're not in Honduras. They don't have to worry about it anymore. Let Mexico give them asylum. Mexico let them in. So.
Yeah, I saw it today, and I know it was getting a lot of attention, but when I watched the video, they didn't look like your peaceful, loving refugees that are poured out all over the news. They look like some angry fucking people. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being
Dude, they just
stereotypical.
marched 3,000 miles. Would you be happy?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess you got a point there.
You marched 3,000 miles and you hit a giant wall. I'd be pissed too.
So is there a
Damn,
way...
this thing's real?
Yeah, right.
We've hit our hour mark here. Is there a way you could do that, Uncle Rob? Will that video work that I sent you? Just so we can test it out. I just think it's funny to do a word from our sponsors from Uncle Rob.
I don't have it up right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's how to fix your toilet, and the guy just blows up his toilet. He just blows it up. He puts like an M80.
We'll have our sponsor videos have approved us to run our ads,
like,
ads on the next episode. So
Great.
yeah, we've got an approval to run
Cool.
the ads on the next episode.
All right, perfect. Well, all right, guys. Well, I thought that was awesome. I liked it.
Right on.
We had a lot of shares, a lot of people watching, and Danny, I appreciate you coming on for our first guest. Hopefully, we can have you on again.
Absolutely, I would love to do it.
Yeah, I thought it was
Great
fun.
time talking with you.
Thank you. You as well. You as well.
A whole list of topics there. We were kind of all over the place, but I thought it was fun, and that's what I kind of want here. And we want to just have a discussion about all kinds of stuff. So
good.
Less scripted,
Like we're all in a room just having a discussion. Jump in the comments, even if you disapprove.
Yeah, if anyone watching,
It's a lot of fun.
yeah, if anyone watching has any questions or comments, drop them in the chat at any time. We'll look out for those. Maybe we'll address those in the next episode, whatever. But yeah, we're looking for a lot of viewer interaction. So if you guys want to get involved, this is where you're gonna do it. You get involved with 4 different people at once. Where else can you do that? All right, CNN isn't doing that. We're doing that here at Degree 45. So.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me, you guys.
Thanks,
for
Danny.
having me.
Hey, thanks a lot, Danny. Appreciate
All right,
it, and
guys.
hope to see you
We're
soon.
signing off.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week, 7:45 p.m. Here on Degree 45 Facebook page. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.
45 Eastern Pacific Time.
Yeah, I forgot Eastern Standard Time for those on the East
I
Coast.
said Eastern Pacific. Eastern Standard Time. I need to go to sleep because it's midnight here.
Eastern Atlantic Time. All
Yeah.
right. Well, all right. Take care,
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Turn off the live, and we can just conversate if you want there.